What types of symptoms might somebody experience? Because you don't just wake up one day with osteoporosis. Generally, you have symptoms that precede that by many, many, many years, right? And so what are we looking for in terms of symptoms that people might experience acutely? And one of them, with dehydration especially, is acute loss of calcium leads to cramping in the muscles. And where we're going to see this most commonly is in the feet and in the calves. And one of the hallmarks kind of calcium deficiency is that this happens primarily, it happens at night. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night and your feet are cramping up on you, or if you're trying to go to bed at night and your feet are cramping up on you, your calves are locking up, you find yourself jumping out of bed, trying to stretch that out, you very well might have a calcium deficiency. So that's one of the kind of the early symptoms to really look for in terms of whether or not you might have that. Another one is fatigue, particularly muscle fatigue. Your muscles fatigue out too quickly. So like if you're trying to work out and you're wondering, I used to be able to do a lot more, and maybe part of that is because you're deconditioned, but maybe you've developed a calcium deficiency. You're not deconditioned, but your muscles are just getting fatigued much more quickly. Calcium deficiency will lead to that muscular fatigue and that muscular burning pain. So you might start developing that burning sensation in the muscle a lot sooner than what maybe is really typical of your past experience. That muscle fatigue as a result of calcium deficiency is not an uncommon symptom at all, so pay attention to that one. Additionally, we're going to remember I said earlier about the nervous system, so irritability is another symptom that we're going to see with calcium deficiency. So agitation, quick to agitation, you just you jump off the gun, maybe your temper's a little bit shorted. That can be a calcium deficiency as well. It can cause brain fog and word recall issues. Remember, we're talking about an electrolyte in the brain, so it's going to create a stopgap between the way brain cells can communicate. So these are all really quite common symptoms of a earlier onset calcium deficit. And oftentimes too, what will happen for people with the muscular fatigue is they'll experience tightness in the muscle. So think of it as poor flexibility, but I'm not talking about the person that's never been flexible their whole life. I'm talking about somebody who's like, I don't know why, but I used to could touch my toes, and that's getting harder and harder and harder to do. The muscles, when they're fatigued and when they're cramping, like these kind of really go somewhat hand in hand. It makes it harder for you to maintain your flexibility. So those are real common symptoms for you to look for with calcium deficiency. Beyond that, if your doctor's checking your calcium levels on, like on an annual physical or when you go in, they're usually measuring what's called serum calcium, which is very, very tightly controlled. If your serum calcium drops below a certain level, it can actually kill you. And so your body's really, really good at maintaining that. Remember I said less than 1% of that calcium is in your serum. The other 99% is in your bone. So your body has this huge buffer where it can push more of that calcium from your bone into your blood if your diet is chronically low over time. And again, this is part of what can contribute to bone loss and osteoporosis, although osteoporosis has many other pathways to creation, not just calcium. So again, look for these things to potentially occur first. And if those things are happening, you might consider calcium deficiency. Hey, and if you missed the earlier part of this series, click right here so you can go back and get caught up. The information there might be critical to helping you on your path to better health. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for updates below. Have a great day.